Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Savana. I am the owner and operator of Pause and Relax Mobile Pet Grooming and Reiki Services, and in today's video, we are going to be discussing the topic of comfort grooms. Before we jump into the content of today's video, I want to introduce you guys to Crumbs. She is a long-term client of mine. I also used to groom her sibling named Cookie, and her family is absolutely amazing. She is 16 years young, and today you will get to watch me groom her as I talk about the topic of comfort grooms. Now, to start off, what exactly is a comfort groom? This is what I like to call a groom that is kind of modified for an elderly or senior pet or even a special needs pet. Now, the main focus of a comfort groom is safety, comfort, and health. We also want to keep in mind humanity over vanity. Because these are pets that require extra attention, we need to make it clear that we are focusing on these top three things: safety, comfort, and health. We are not focusing on a perfect haircut. Because we are focusing on the comfort of the pet, which is what the name comfort groom implies, I suggest that you be very transparent with the owners before even starting the groom. I find it helpful to set expectations low and then potentially deliver high. Some of the things that you want to talk to the owners about before starting the groom is to ask detailed questions on the dog's health and medical conditions. Ask them if there's any signs you should be looking for that you should stop. Any dogs that I haven't seen for a while, I always ask if there is any changes in their health. You also want to talk to them about what is most important that you get done during the grooming process. Now, this leads me into my next point. When I actually start a comfort groom, I do what needs to be done first. So this may be in a different order of how you usually groom, and take into consideration what the owner said is the most important things that they would like done on their pet, but also taking into consideration what you know is the most important. Things like sanitary trims, nail trims, face trims, etc. In these situations, we may not get a full groom done on these dogs and cats, so we need to do what needs to be done first. Once again, following my guideline of keeping in mind safety, comfort, and health of the pet. If you get done what needs to be done, then all the other stuff is just extra and a bonus where you could be delivering higher. Something that I want to talk about very quickly is just the fact that I strongly believe that we should be discouraging against a full last groom. Now, what this often looks like is when a client comes in and they want their dog to be groomed one more time before possibly euthanasia. These animals are very end of life. And in the eyes of the client, they think that this will be a relaxing spa day for them before they cross over to the other side. But as groomers, we know the reality is oftentimes as these pets get older, the grooming process is very stressful for them. So I discourage against that last groom when pets are at the very end of their life. Now, there are things that we can do to keep these pets comfortable without stressing them out, and that is just doing the basics, like a sani trim, nails, face trim, ear cleaning, that sort of thing. To go back to what I was saying before about doing what needs to be done first and then everything else is a bonus, if the pet is allowing you to get onto the bonus portion of the groom, and this is a regular pet that you're grooming, I suggest trying to keep your order of operations the same. As pets age, so many things can change with them. They can lose their sight, their hearing, they can develop something similar to dementia where they get kind of turned around and confused. So if you can keep things the same as much as you can so that they can try to predict or know what is going to happen next. Some examples of this are the time of day you book this pet head in for the scents that you're using, so shampoos and etc., and then the order of your groom, just so they can feel as comfortable and confident as possible. Next, let's talk about some extra tools you might want to have on hand to make these pets as comfortable as possible and the whole process safe. So some of the things that you'll see on the screen here, and I will have as many of them linked down below as I possibly can, are belly bands to help pets stand up if they have a weak back end or if they just want to sit down on you. The happy hoodie to protect their ears from the dryer, and also cotton balls that you can put in their ears to help prevent ear infections and also help with the sound. A hammock or sling to get them up off the table for pets that don't like getting their nails done and for other reasons. A PawMat adds some extra cushioning underneath their feet, and then also extra loops where you can connect them in different places to keep them safe and still. And also the one loop that you see on the screen here has extra padding around the neck. Some things that you can try to plan for when doing these comfort grooms are booking a little bit of extra time, as you might need to go a little bit slower to get as much done as you can to make them comfortable, not rush, and keep things safe. I always find it helpful to be prepared for accidents. So have your cleaner, towels, paper towel, however you like to clean up messes handy. There can be lots of pee and poop going on. Your poop bag's ready right there so you're not searching and scrambling for them in the moment. Muzzles in case the dog is scared and is going to bite you. And also just plan for when you're manipulating their body to keep them comfortable. There might be modifications that you need to do depending on their needs. I have two more topics that I want to touch on today before we wrap up. The first one being things to look out for while you were doing these comfort grooms, and then also a little bit about pricing. So before I get into the first topic, I just want to start by saying we are not vets. We cannot diagnose pets, but we can bring things to the owner's attention. Oftentimes, we have these pets on a regular schedule. We know what their regular is. We know if there was a bump or a lump there last time. We have our hands all over these pets, so we will often pick up on things before the owners even see or notice it at home. But again, we're not vets. We can't diagnose. All we can do is just bring these things up. So some of the things that I'm looking for when doing these comfort grooms are any new lumps, bumps, moles, skin irritation or hot spots, loose teeth, changes in the ear, whether that being the ear looks red, it feels warm, if there's any discharge that isn't usual for the animal. Also any stiffness that you notice or bruising on their skin. I'm actually going to do a whole separate video on that, on a personal experience I had regarding that. Also, if you have a pet that usually has a certain demeanor and then it suddenly changes in an appointment, so if they're not a biter and all of a sudden they're trying to bite you when you are touching a certain spot, that can signal to you that there might be pain in that area. And also just in general, if you're noticing them acting differently than usual. Once again, I can't stress enough, we're not vets, but I do feel it is part of our job to bring up anything that we notice with the pets, with the owners, just to bring it to their attention, and then it is up to them what they do with that information. So the last main topic I have for today is about pricing. Now, to be honest, I do feel kind of hesitant to talk on this just because of everything that happened with the deleted video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, or if you're not caught up, I will link the video down below where I explain everything. But I know that this is a topic that is very important to comfort grooms, so I have decided I'm just going to talk transparently and explain to you guys what I do in this scenario. This entire video is just how I see things and how I do them. So when it comes to pricing, you want to charge for your time. As pet groomers, time is money, and often we are paid commission, especially if you don't work for yourself. So at the beginning of this video, I talked about being very transparent with the owners of what they can expect, to set expectations low and then potentially deliver high. One of the things that I suggest you might want to talk about is pricing. That way, if that pet doesn't get bathed or doesn't get a full groom, the owner still knows exactly how much you charge, what your time is worth, and what they're going to pay. I encourage you not to discount your prices even if you don't finish the groom. And let me tell you why. This pet still took up an entire time slot in your day. You might even have booked extra time for them. And yes, we are pet groomers, or we should be pet groomers, because we care about the safety and the health and the comfort of pets. We are still in business and we need to charge for our time. So even if you don't finish that pet, do not discount your hourly rate or your rate per pet, however you usually price your time slots. If this is a new client, or maybe it is unfortunately a pet that is declining and you can only get X, Y, and Z done on them, not a full groom, then you know in the future you don't need a full groom spot for them, and you can play around with pricing, and maybe if you don't feel comfortable charging them a certain amount, you can kind of tweak things that way based on your comfort level. But at the same time, it might still take you an hour and a half to get done that X, Y, and Z, which isn't a full groom, but in an hour and a half for a pet in better condition or health, it would be a full groom. This is why you still need to charge the full amount for your time, no matter how much you get done on that pet in that time frame, if that makes sense. Okay, so to kind of wrap some things up today, if this is a topic that you are interested in learning more on, I have 2 other videos on my channel that may interest you. One is a senior Shihtzu groom, and I go over some tips for dealing with dogs with allergies, which can be very common in aging pets. And then also I have a Pekingese groom where I talk about how I try to reduce dryer seizures. This can be a very common problem in aging pets as well. So those videos will be linked. Also, I just want to ask you guys for some help. If you have any tips for grooming elderly pets or special needs pets when you do a similar comfort groom on them, please leave them down below in the comments so that I know your tips. Maybe there's something I missed, maybe there's something I haven't tried, and other people can read through them as well. If you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to press the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already, I also encourage you to subscribe, as I'm trying my best to upload new videos every single week. And thank you guys so much for watching until the end of today's video. Grooming elderly pets is a passion of mine, and I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed educating about this topic. Thanks guys, see you in my next video. Bye.